Hey everybody, welcome back to This Old Trike. Today I think I'm going to take a rip on this Fat Cat. So as you remember, this is the one that we just got with the 200X and the 7590 over there. And I have not ridden this thing yet. I just popped a new battery into it. I bought some fork boots that I hope will work for that. They're technically for like 86, 87, 250 SX or 85, 200X. No, I'm sorry, 86, 87. So we'll see. They look like they're a little bit short, but before I do any of that, I want to see what this thing does. I've only ridden a Fat Cat a handful of times, really, in my backyard, never in the snow. So my friend Pat Farnham says these are good they're fun in the snow. So we'll see what he says, see if that's true. But I gotta move my toolbox. I'm working on that. That's going to be a video for another day, but just curious to see what this does. If I get it on the ice, maybe we'll do a top speed run, see what things look like. But I got some things to move, so let's get to work. So I'm noticing right now this thing doesn't want to go into second, and I'm wondering if I've got a bigger problem. So I'm struggling. You know, I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but my foot is typically strong enough to shift a Honda ATV. So I'm reaching down to see what's up and shifting it in the second. So I figured probably pretty good. So here we go. Let's rip. Well, that's neat. Oh, that's funny. I'm glad everybody got to see that. That's why I need a tricycle. This does not like what I'm doing. Okay, so now after that, I'm thinking how Fat Cats really don't like to push the front tire through snow, because then your rear tire just spins and then you are in a scenario where you're just going to spin out, and that is not really safe. So I'm about to experience about the same thing right there. Almost fell. So it didn't fall, but I'm not liking what I'm doing. This snow is crunchier, so the front tire is riding up on it more than it is pushing through it. So regardless, this is not ideal. So I'm aborting any ride through the woods option right now, and now we're gonna work our way back out, and I think I might take a little ride down the road and see how I feel about that. underneath all the snow on my driveway is ice, so I'm being pretty cautious about turning sharply or even mildly on my driveway. But here we go. That's all. The white is salt. Here in New York, we salt the road. So I'm actually on asphalt now, so that feels a lot nicer. You can put a slight lean into your turns. And up here, there is a spot where snowmobilers get down on the lake with their sleds. So I'm kind of thinking at this point I want to check that out and see how packed down it is. Because if it's packed down, it might be something where I can get out there and the hill isn't as bad as my one friend's hill in front of his house, which I'm definitely not going to be able to do with the snow like it is. So it's actually looking pretty good. I want to get down here where it gets actually steep. I've heard fat cats don't like to go down hills, so I'm thinking about that as I'm doing this. And I just want to get some eyes over the edge of this, and that looks pretty decent. So okay, I'm gonna go. Here we go. All right, here we're good. We're doing this now. All right, we're doing this, and let's see how it goes. So I think the technical term for how this thing is handling right now is squirrely. This thing is super squirrely, going across the packed, unpacked snow. There's ice underneath this, so it is a handful right now, and I'm struggling just to keep things going straight. I'm looking for hard pack, which is right here, so now I want to stay on the hard pack. I'm gonna just play it safe. We're getting up to speed a little bit here. There's tremendous wind noise, so I've kind of knocked down the volume on my GoPro just so I can not make everybody's speakers go insane right now. But this thing is like questionable. I'm like not sure. I'm saying things, but you weren't able to hear it because of the wind noise. But I do not feel safe right now. This is like, it's a beautiful day. I'm being distracted by how nice the sky looks and just the conditions, but it is all over the place. So coming up here, I'm gonna slow down. I'm like, I was gonna go to the campsite, but now I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back because I do not feel good about what I'm doing right now. So we're gonna turn around. I'm thinking about, now I gotta get a picture because, you know, YouTube people like sexy thumbnails. So maybe if I get a nice picture of the fat cat on the ice, people will like to click on that. So let me get it positioned just right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because all my boring videos, you know, they need to be watched, and I know you guys like boring videos because else you wouldn't be here and you're wondering how fast this thing goes. I've talked about top speed. So all right, I'm taking the picture. I've gone ahead. I'm just doing a quick inspection from when I fell earlier. Did anything break off? And it looks good. So now we're going to go back. I think I'm just going to go back home at this point. So there's less wind noise going this way, so you guys can really appreciate the sound of this 200 cc's of raw power. But I'm going by my house, and little did I know, my wife took some video of me driving by, and though it feels like I'm going 100 miles an hour, obviously you can tell by my wife's video, I'm going like 5, maybe 7. My one friend Gavin said 7.8, but I think that's kind of generous. Look at that, going so slow. I couldn't even keep up when she panned ahead. So anyway, all right, now I'm thinking this feels better going this way. I'm on like an extra packed down surface, so I'm gonna drive up to, there's a local restaurant up here where a lot of snowmobilers stop and get some food. I'm gonna go there and take the road back, and that's what I think my plan is at this point. Okay, so right now we're actually on an old railroad bed. There's a guy walking his dog. To my left is the Sacandaga Golf Course that's been there for over 100 years. Originally built by the company that operated that railroad. So there's your little bit of history for the day. But I'm on what is normally a bike path in the summer. They've opened it up so you can put a vehicle down through here if you want. So anyway, I'm going through. This is basically a shortcut to get to the road that I need to take to get back to my house. But now I'm having a thought that maybe this would be a good spot to do a top speed run. So, taking the road back about a mile from my house, I'm curious, what is the top speed of the almighty 200cc FatCat? Don't do what I'm doing, because it is not, nope, that ain't it. Don't do what I'm doing, it is not legal to ride these on the roads, at least here where I live. So check all your local laws if that's something you're thinking of doing. Okay, we are recording top speed. Is it my pocket though? Alright. Alright, we're just gonna zip home. Hope we don't see anybody. Okay, again, wind noise was crazy, so I've knocked that down. But I'm probably maxing out right around here and double checking to make sure I'm in top gear. I think it's a 6-speed, so wasn't sure. But then there's this little dip right here, so I may get an extra mile an hour or 2 or 3. So when we do report the final numbers, please keep that in mind that I may have skewed the data. So I guess we'll have to redo it at some point. But I was actually impressed with what we got back on the ice in my driveway. So we're going to get back to the barn here and see what things look like. Wow, okay. Let me get my helmet off. Well, now I know why they put the no fear sticker on it, because these things are ridiculous. So I hope you enjoyed watching me crash this FatCat. Thankfully, I crashed into a nice pillowy, soft cushion of fluffy snow, which is probably part of the reason why I crashed anyway. But that wants to push, your front tire wants to push, causing your rear tire to spin, causing you to spin out real easy when there's any extra friction on the front. So I opted not to go down in front of my house, and I wasn't even going to go out on the lake, but then where the snowmobiles get down on the lake right near me was really packed down, so I thought, heck, why not? Let's give it a shot. And that's what I did. You can see daylight is dwindling here. I don't know what time it is. It's got to be close to 4 o'clock here in upstate New York, so maybe this will be brighter when I watch it later. But as you can see out on the lake, I don't know if you could see, but I could feel the rear end wanting to kick out every so often. And when you're moving, even if you're doing 20 or 30, Like, I don't want to crash at that at that speed. I don't want to lay this thing down, bend a handlebar, break my shoulder, and all the rest. But so I opted to go past my house, past where I came down, and I went to where a lot of sleds will stop at that restaurant. You can see a lot of them parked out front when I went by it. And they'll go up to the main road from that point and get gas, fill up there. So I, like where I saw that side by side, that he was probably coming from the lake up to get gas. And I cut through a trail that I used to ride my bike on when I would ride my bike to school. And that's where I stopped to start my top speed run. And so guess what this thing does? I was surprised. 200cc 4-stroke motor with a 230-pound guy on it. This thing did 56. So makes me wonder, though, because there was that dip. So I wonder if I gained a couple mile an hour going down that dip, because I was still on it when I went down through there. But 56 miles an hour. And I got to tell you, having just put this thing on its side, not 15 minutes before that, I was uncomfortable. So I did that for you guys, though. Shamokin Honda. If you've got anything from Shamokin Honda over the years, be sure to comment. Let me know. But this is my titled 86 what are they? TR200s? Geez, now I gotta look that up. I believe it's a TR. Obviously, I don't do good with anything less than 3 wheels. I'm severely handicapped when it comes to that. So that's the review. These things are terribly dangerous. Don't get one unless you're prepared to take your life into your own hands. Don't do what I did on the way home, because more than likely in your local area that is frowned upon by local law enforcement. So yeah, don't do those things. And I guess that's it. Take your life in your own hands if you get a Fat Cat. I'm sure they're a lot better on hard ground, not frozen fluffiness. Where is it? There it is. My daughter hasn't named this one. If she did, I don't know. But anyway, from this old trike, have a great night. Over and out. We'll catch you next time.